I feel geek culture is about embracing the things that make you excited, no matter how niche or quirky they seem. It's not about fitting into a mold. It's about discovering the things that make you light up and finding others who feel the same way. Growing up black and liking anime, comics, and gaming, I didn't always see people who looked like me in the stories or fandoms. But over time, I realized that our voices, creativity, and experiences have a place here too, and they're worth celebrating. Okay. Okay. When they always tell me sometimes, you know, they ask me when did you really get into this culture, and I said, well, I've always been part of it, but I just never made a big deal out of it. I just watched my cartoons. I still played my video games. I still watch my anime, and I still watch my wrestling. So it wasn't no thing for me. So basically, right now I have these like ID badges that I kept from the events and Comic Cons that I've been to over the last couple of years. So this one was my first New York Comic Con that took place in 2023. I went there with no cosplay. I just went there because I was just kind of, curious about it and just took some pictures and kind of much just, drank it in and, just wanted to see what it was about. So this is my very first New York Comic Con, but it wasn't my first Comic Con slash event that year. That will be this event. It's called ChemFest. That took place in New Jersey. That was run by a friend of mine. It's mostly an all black event, and I really was amazed by how many black creators and cosplayers were there. People really just enjoyed and have fun, and I started to really think you know, about the other aspects of what this whole culture is. That there are black people that are in this. There are other peoples of color that are in this as well. So ChemFest kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And this one right here is the recent one I went to in 24, New York Comic Con. This one right here, um, I got this medallion. I just bought it because I was at the booth where uh, Tamik. I keep pronouncing his name wrong, but he's the dude from the Last Dragon, Power of the Glow. I took some pictures with him. It was really cool. And then this was my cosplay for New York Comic Con 24. I was a character called Red X. So when I went there, people liked it. The funny thing was that this helmet was so damn hot that I was really sweating bullets. I must have lost like 20 pounds with this damn thing on. When I started working at Brick, I started meeting a whole lot of people, a lot of different people with different creative interests. And some of those interests were including people who liked anime and gaming and movies and film and even wrestling. I met a whole community of people who have these very unique hobbies.
My name is Masai Edmond. I'm actually the creator of the Blur Spot.
My name is Jessica Mason. I am a manager, adult education manager for public access in Brooklyn, and I also am an adjunct lecturer for CUNY at Medgar Evers College.
My name is Gigi Murakami. I'm a horror manga artist and illustrator.
Essentially, the Blur Spot is something I created. I wanted to be first a platform for people, black people, people of color, to come together, talk about their nerdy exceptions from anime, comics, manga, cosplayers, you name it.
I've been collecting since 2015 Funko Pops, and from 2015 to 2020, it's just been a ramp up of just collecting to the collection that you see today. And of course, I've been collecting afterwards.
One of my most notable works is Resenter, which is a supernatural horror that I started as a self published work and was able to produce a one shot. that was published through Viz.
I definitely, I'm a fan of animation. That's something I brought with me from childhood to adulthood. Well, I partake in different branches of the fandom. I would guess I would have to say Disney. I'm a child of the '90s, so that can't be helped to a certain degree. But I'll definitely say I was the beginning of it was definitely Disney. Yeah.
Honestly, for me, I kind of do like everything. I grew up being raised on like the Justice League and DC, Marvel, you know, the cartoons. But I do feel my main thing is anime, manga. I just feel like when I first start watching it, it had a much greater impact on me.
So I read my first manga when I was about 7 years old. I read Hideshi Hino's Panorama of Hell, which is a crazy, really wild horror manga.
So my favorite Funko Pop line is DC. It's Batman. Funko Pop actually really Funko. I'm gonna say stop saying Funko Pop. Funko Pop is the type of line, which are these that you see here. These are pops. But Funko is a company that makes different types of figurine. And so Funko existed before they came out with the pops, and they used to make bobbleheads, which they were famous for, and different things. Their first Funko Pop, though, the one that blew up, was the original Batman.
John Singleton, we throw him at the top. May he rest. Was definitely one of my favorite directors. Dare I say him and Spike kind of go neck and neck only because a lot of Spike stuff in the beginning was done here in New York. Because I'm a native New Yorker, so I could resonate a little bit. Hell, damn near could pinpoint what street you on. Like, oh, I know where you are. I know where this is. I know where you're filming with that. I didn't have those with a lot of John Singleton's because a lot of things he did was out in L.A. And at that point, when those movies were around, I had never stepped foot in California.
Naoki Urasawa, Junji Ito is like a very big influence, big inspiration. Um, Satoshi Kon also is a big inspiration, even though a lot of people know him for doing like animated movies.
Murakami, recently she's been working on her one shot, submitted to Viz. So that's Viz is pretty much like the main like distributor of manga throughout like whole like I think North America. Um, on this side of the world basically. Jarrell Johnson, when I interviewed, he's been doing amazing things. He worked with Rockstar on GTA 5. He did work with Blizzard for Diablo Immortal. He's making his way in the industry, trying to focus on his own gaming studio as well, trying to make that happen. There's fantastic Frankie. Oh man, she just all her takes, the way she articulates herself, with content and just the world, how she sees it.
So from most of the people that I have met who are Funko Pop collectors, I think averagely they will have, if they're hardcore Funko Pop collectors, because you have those who have gotten Funko Pops and, you know, whether if it was a gift or maybe it's like part of their favorite game or TV show, whatever the case might be, but then you have those who are actually like buying it. Averagely, they're going to have more than 120. You know, I have about close to 200, and that doesn't even scratch the surface. Let me tell you something. If you go on YouTube and you type in Funko Pop collectors, you're gonna find people who have over 5,000 pops. You have people who have something like me, who's roughly about 200. It's huge.
I'm not one to dwell on what other people like. I put myself wherever I want to be, whether you want me there or not. If I want to go someplace, I want to do something, I want to see something, I'm going to do it. There have been times, okay, so I'm wearing a straight, this is for those of you who don't know, I was a huge Outlander fan. I am a huge Outlander fan. Straight out of Lollybrook, that is the estate of where the main character lives in the show. One of the main characters lives in the show. That's their estate, Lollybrook. I went to the show convention in Vegas and stuck out like a sore thumb, my friend and I. Yeah, and asked me if I cared. I'm not here for you. I'm here for the characters. I'm here for the show. I'm here to learn more on the back ends of the show, how the show came about, and get my selfies with these characters that I love. That's what I'm here for.
I have had like people doubt my like people doubt the legitimacy of my work because I'm not Japanese and because like I don't live in Japan. That's more of the energy that I get. I receive far less like vitriol online than like black cosplayers. So like shout out to black cosplayers because like people, like the amount of tough skin that they have to just like do what they do online is crazy to me.
For me, it's more so of, again, more so what I've personally like witnessed either from online or through close friends who are more into the space than I am. So it's just from that I'm able to just like understand, because again, if if my friends again who are black people of color face discrimination against because color of the skin, then I'm a pretty empathetic person, and it's like, come on, that could have been me.
It's become, unfortunately, as much as pop culture, geek culture is accepting of all people, you do have those individuals who are just doing it because it's part of the hype, as part of the trend type of deal. They come here and, I said I love Comic Con because you got people who just want to express themselves, but you got those who come just to come and not have no idea what they're looking at.
I think that people think that manga is something that is like we talked about it a little earlier, where like there are manga fans who look at me or like look at other foreign manga artists and think like, oh, that's not manga, that's not manga, you're not a real manga artist, like stuff like that. And I think the future of manga is going to depend on foreign manga artists a lot more in the future. And this may not be like in the next 5 years, but like certainly in the next 20 years, 30 years, in order for the manga industry to thrive, and to continue to like expand, like we are going to need more foreign manga artists. We don't want these things to like just flatline out. Like in order to keep these things going, like you have to expand, you have to build on top of. So this now kind of like puts a little bit of a battery in my back. And I'm having to like sit with that and like think about that. It's like your mentor dying, you know what I mean? Like you're the student, you've been the student for a while, and like the famous like hero's journey trope where like the mentor is dead. Like what do I do now? Like where do I go from here? Like I have to kind of continue on the message, or continue on the work.
I think it'll be more a positive thing the next couple of years with one, more diverse stories out there. Also, more indies getting more recognition, and in that case, more black people pulling their stories out there. So for me, in that aspect, I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, I mean, Funko Pop and pop culture, geek culture, however you want to identify or label it as, is like open for all. I personally never received any pushback. I think, in the Funko world and pop culture world, it's acceptable that everyone's accepted.
In these uncertain times, everything's going a little haywire right now. The one thing I would try to say to people is just be true to yourself. You know, always understand who you are. Recognize who you are. Recognize